Hey, what's up?
Yeah, you made it.
Yo, how you doing?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Chilling, chilling.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay, awesome. I can hear you great.
cool.
So I was just saying, you're going to be featured on VTX Live this Sunday at 8 p.m. Jacob Tremont, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been working on a new project with new music and stuff that we started this project, and by we, I mean with George Mayer. If I know Vinny, I know you and George go way back. Yeah, George and I've been playing music for a while. So basically, last summer in like August, I was like putting some new music together. I had a bunch of new songs, and I started getting together with George, and we ended up basically co-writing an album, and we were working on it like every weekend for up until now, and so we've been like about 2 months ago we kind of made the transition. We've kind of like finished writing the album, and we started planning out like, all right, let's put a band together and try to perform some of it. And this is pretty much that. That's what this live stream is going to be, is just the first go of that. And we're going to play 5 or 6 tunes, so about half of the album.
Damn, that's really awesome. So
Yeah,
it's been mostly you and George working on those tunes together?
yeah. George is like George co-wrote like over 50% of the album, probably like just about half of it. And what a talented dude George is. I mean, Steel Press has played on, with VTX, and George just is more support role in Steel Press. Oh, Steel Press just joined.
Steel Press is in here. Let's go.
What a coincidence. Yeah, I mean, with that, George is obviously more support. He just plays keyboards with Steel Press, and that's Russ Gottlieb's, like, that's his big thing. He's the writer for that and whatnot. But I mean, George is awesome, and he didn't really intend for him to co-write, but like, it just happened.
I know you were saying that like me and George go way back, and we do, but I was digging through the archives and I picked up the Keeping the Family EP that we actually did in 2016, bro. That was 5 years ago. So
Keeping the Family. Yes, that was 2016. Yeah, you that was awesome working with you on that. That EP is still online. It's still on Bandcamp, and super proud of that. Russ too. Russ Gottlieb played a big role in that. That was really fun.
Was that mostly you writing those songs, or was there co-writing happening with those tunes as well?
All of those are just me for the songwriting credit. Yeah, I think back then, 5 years ago, we were all like, I think part of it is that like Russ wasn't really writing much back then, as far as I know. I might be wrong about that, but at least he wasn't like playing it out, and as talented as George is, like, you learn a lot in 5 years and grow a lot. And I guess back then it was yeah, we weren't really sure, like, it's like, how do you help improve the song? At what point does it become songwriting? I think that back then nobody was really in a position to kind of work with each other in that way. Like, it's pretty cool. Co-writing is something I'm like very new to, and it takes a lot of maturity, to co-write.
Definitely. You have to have a lot of trust there. And as far as like the way credits work and the way copyright works, it's an interesting game, like as far as copyright's concerned, it's just like words and lyrics and melody, I believe. You know what I mean? So if any of those melodic elements or any of the actual words in there were like contributed by more than one person. You have a co-writing situation, but it definitely can get complicated. But when you go in with the intention of, all right, we're going to co-write together and we're going to put our heads together and like make this happen, that's a really cool situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think now it's at that point with George and I where, like, after having gone through this, where, you know, I can like show up and be like, you know, hey, I've got a verse and a chorus, or I've got, you know, just a verse or whatever, like, let's work on it. But honestly, when it started, it was more like accidental. You know, it was like I was showing up. When we started, I showed up with probably about half the album was pretty much done. You know, I had written it. And then, you know, we were like, I was like, well, I have more. But I'm so impatient. So I would like show up to George's if the song wouldn't be done, you know, and I'm just like, yo, I got to play you, you know, what I have so far. And then, you know, in a trusting environment, it's just kind of, with somebody as talented as George, you know, he's like, try changing this, try changing that. And then it's kind of very much up to me, right? If I allow the changes, now he's the co-writer, you know? So that was sort of accidental, but really welcome, because the things he suggested and made up for a lot of those songs were it's him, you know?
I'm sure he had a lot of good input, man.
Yeah.
So when you finished the song and you came over to George's to like run it by him, what would that process be like? Would you guys start jamming on it like in the room? Would you like play it for him and sing it? Would you guys like hop right into the DAW and start recording it and tracking it out? Like, what was that process like?
I mean, like a lot of the stuff that we've been doing, like George and I have been learning a lot of different things, like all at the same time, you know, like we've been learning about, you know, we're also like co-producing this project. So we're also learning about how to produce. And, you know, Vinny, what a rabbit hole that is. There's like so many aspects to production. It's out of control. And, you know, we're like always trying to like pick up little things. And I'm talking to George last week, and I'm like, dude, finally I'm like figuring out how to use compression a little bit, like just, you know, like just barely, like just the basics of compression and stuff. And he's like, dude, I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, man, there's a couple things that makes me think about. One is that compression is like an art form in itself. Like that's a whole thing. Yeah, and also is like, no matter like what art you're trying to do, if you're learning as you're doing it, it's kind of like left brain and right brain going on, because you want to be creative and you want to like work on your art, but then it's like you're also learning your tools as you're doing it. So like I kind of started dabbling in like photo editing and video editing. It's like, damn, so now I got to learn how to use Photoshop and how to use Final Cut and stuff as I'm trying to like do projects. So I can definitely relate to that if you know, the production side is like new to you and you're trying to record an album.
Yeah. Yeah, the writing comes really naturally. Like I've been writing songs since I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. So that's like very intuitive. And at this point, obviously, like I'm always trying to refine it and improve it. But just the kind of like, you know, sit down and do it. It's like comfortable, you know, like I know what I'm doing here. Like I know how to, you know, like I have my way that works for me to like get across the finish line. But yeah, with production, we're just figuring things out as we go, like feeling around in the dark. And that's fun. And I trusting the songs too, like, you know, and like respecting the songs. Like we have kept a really tight lid on this project. Like, in fact, you are one of the like only people who's heard even any demos. Like we came by, you remember, like 4 or 5 months ago, right? And
yep. Came down to downtown.
Demos. Yeah. And that was awesome. And it was also super nerve-wracking because before that, like literally nobody except Danielle, right, George's partner, had heard any of it. So, you know, like we think it's good. I trust George, right? And, you know, more than anything. But I think he was like, well, if Jake's trusting me, then who am I trusting? You know?
Yeah, you guys are funny. Yeah, I hear that. No, it's cool. It's important to soundboard your recordings off of other people, even people that aren't necessarily engineers or musicians, just to hear. It's just interesting to know their initial reaction. So I usually try to recommend to people like get into the same room and play them and catch a vibe rather than like sending it to someone over the email. Hey, what do you think of this track? Because you don't know what situation someone's going to be in when they get to listen to it. But if you come, you know, you have a little bit of a listening party, it's like, okay, cool, let's, you know, get an idea of what everybody's thinking. But then it's a trust thing too, because these are demos. So like, they're not the finished product. So you have to also know that the person that's hearing them is going to be like, okay, I understand this isn't done, but I kind of catching the wave, like where you're trying to go with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about trust. I mean, just because of my thing as like the kinds of songs that I write, as you know, and the way that I approach it, it's like, you know, a lot of times it's very personal, and I'm sort of like walk that line of where like you write a song that's like when you first write it, it's very hard to execute because it's so personal, you know, and it takes a lot of like practice and almost like desensitizing to the song and control to be able to execute a really personal song, and have the control over it so that you're not like you know, like having a panic attack while you're performing, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have some, I mean, distance, time helps, right? Like from whatever inspired the song, but it's still, you know, it's very personal. So like, you know, with George, like I'll share that like we had our last rehearsal before the live stream on Tuesday night, and lately it's been like pretty good. Like I've been feeling like more control and like really just, you know, executing the song and like, you know, hitting it, right? Not like getting too in my head about the songs and stuff. But that rehearsal, for some reason, it was just getting to me, you know, and like we did the rehearsal, it was fine, everything. I didn't have a panic attack at the rehearsal, but I was moody, you know, afterwards, and it was bringing up a lot of memories and things. And so like, but because of with George, you know, I hit him up after, it might have been the next day or something, and I was just like, man, I just gotta say, you know, like I trust you, I'm leaning on you a lot in this project, you know. And he's like, man, I got your back, you know. Like I don't think I could do it without him, you know. I think it would be very hard on this scale, you know, to put a whole band together and execute it. I think
That's awesome, bro.
big on that. Yeah.
He's good for that. And I don't know if you know, I actually took a drive with him down to Red Bank yesterday, and you know, played with Danielle and her band, so we were doing the horn section. But you know, on the ride down, we were talking a little bit, and he expressed a lot of anticipation and excitement for Sunday and for the project. So, you know, big ups to George for sure. And you were talking about like, you know, like the personal aspect of writing songs and what you go through. So like before I ask you about like what some of your influences are, both musically and, you know, life wise in your songwriting, I just wanted to mention, like, from my perspective, like I sense like adventure and solitude and like contemplation, like being by yourself and like thinking about situations like in your music. But that's mostly like the keeping the family stuff. Like that, I think that was a 5-song EP, and we did 3 of them at my place. And I listened to the whole EP, and I was like trying to like, how do I put this? Like, it was so interesting that 3 of the songs were done at VTX Studios, and the other 3 were done at the other studio. Pardon me for forgetting.
It was part of RMC.
RMC, that's right.
Yeah.
And the ones that we did, I felt like a really strong connection to, and I don't know if that was because I listened to them like 5,000 times mixing them. I like the other ones too, but there was so many different things happening on that EP. Actually, you know, before we get to your influences, maybe real quickly you could talk about what it was like, you know, recording at two different places for that album.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that was probably, you know, you live and you learn. Like, I mean, that EP was fun and great and all, but like, there wasn't really a unifying, I don't know, there wasn't like a coherence to it. And being in two different places, two very different studios, between yours and RMC, like very different energies. And we did the RMC tracks live. So on top of that, like the whole way was different. And I was still really happy that we made those tracks and like did it all. But like, it was just a maturity thing, you know, like I think that I was coming along as a songwriter, but now like there's more control. So like this project now, like with George, the Jacob Tremont, this project that we're going to play on Sunday, about half of it. I guess with the control, it's kind of like we can be more selective, you know, like George and I can talk about, does this song fit the album? Because between when we started in August and now, like I said, there's 10 songs that are part of the album, right, that we're planning. We're probably hoping to release it late this year, and get to that point, you know, build towards it. We got a single hopefully this summer, but or I would say definitely, not hopefully, but you know, between then and now, 10 on the album, but I've probably written 30 songs. So, you know, we're selective, and that's kind of control and just sort of knowing. And I think I kind of know too, like, is it going to fit the album? And it's not like, is it good or bad? It's more just kind of like, does it fit into the puzzle pieces of the project? So I feel like
that's really dope to be selective. Yeah.
Roundabout answer, but yo, what's up, Maria? Anyway.
Nice. Yeah, everybody that's tuning in, we really appreciate you coming to check this interview out. Jacob Tremont is going to be live 8 p.m. on Sunday at youtube.com/VTX Studios. It's our VTX Live series. So make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. I know Jacob's got a link for that you can RSVP to. And definitely come check it out. So you were mentioning that you had 30 plus songs that you had in the bag that you were like choosing from and being selective to say, hey, does this fit the album? Does this not fit the album? Could you talk a little bit about like what inspires you to write? Like what some of your influences, whether it's musically or like life experience wise?
Yeah, it's I mean, the album is definitely like very reflective about, I mean, a lot of it is sort of like a breakup album, I would say, more than anything. It's definitely reflective from that and lessons learned from that. But there's also kind of like moments in there, you know, like, you know, going through a breakup is not just like when you break up with the person. It's like the way that the memories kind of disintegrate and like evolve over time, you know, and morph and color so many other experiences that are happening, and experiences that happened before the relationship too. And like you see things differently from your past, as you change. So like some of the songs are not explicitly where I'm like, you know, oh, like I broke up with you, and like this was, you know, terrible and everything. Some of them are more kind of like even celebratory, about like moments where, you know, it does kind of, you're very raw, so you can experience it certain things like really directly, more than you would normally. And other ones are almost more like dreams. Like I definitely draw a lot from dreams now more than ever. And it's
like
funny
your
about
actual dreams, like that you have at night.
Yeah.
Do you keep a dream journal?
I don't keep the journal, but the songs are my dream journal. I don't, you know, like I found like over the years, I found, you know, they say that people dream every night or whatever. Like, I don't remember my dreams every night. But I find that, like, with a small amount of effort, like, it actually doesn't take that much effort. Like, you know, some people say, like, I can never remember my dreams. But, like, if you get in the habit, like, for me with songwriting, where, like, I'll sit down and write regularly, like, almost every day. And if I'm in a verse or working with something and I'm, like, looking for an image or, like, what's on my mind, what's going on, and I make the effort to remember a dream. I'm like, what did I dream last night? Or what have I been dreaming lately? And you make the effort with practice, like for me, it gets easier. And like, you'll just be like, oh yeah, I was dreaming about fires or something like that, you know, and, or more specific things or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I remembered my dream. I just wasn't trying, you know? So.
That's really cool, bro. That's really cool. That's something I haven't thought about in a really long time, like how the dream realm interacts with creative spirit and what we manifest in the real world. I used to keep a dream journal. I used to be a type of person that, like, I could never remember my dreams, and then I started really trying, like, first thing in the morning, I realized, like, if I, right when I woke up, if I jotted some things down, then, like, more things would come back and more things would come back. And then, like, you know, then it got to the point where, like, I would, like, read the journal before I went to bed, and then I would just, like, get right into the dream state like crazy. It was, like, kind of an interesting experience in my life. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, it's cool that you brought that up. I haven't thought about that realm in quite a minute.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dreams are very similar to songs, like, or at least the kind of songs that I want to write, you know, like, and the songs that I like. Like, I always love Neil Young because I feel like Neil Young is a real dream writer. You know, like, his songs are like dreams or visions. You know, like, there's just kinds of images come and go, like things just like apparate. You're like, what is that? And then it's gone. You know, and I love that in songs, like where images appear or figures appear. And yeah, I mean, I also love story, you know, more story songs that are like concrete. But I love it most when it's visionary or dreamlike.
I like how you explain that, like the dreamlike aspect where things like appear and then disappear, and it just like kind of happens. You know what I mean? It's because I was trying to put my finger on it. Like, what is it that makes your songs really like appeal to me in that way? And I think it is some of those dreamlike attributes. As opposed, you're saying, as opposed to a story, which might just be like one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing.
Yeah.
But dreams can be a little bit more like, what kind of word would you use? Like spontaneous, maybe.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, weird and spontaneous. Yeah. Yeah, dreams can definitely be very weird. Totally, bro. Yeah. So, are you able to reveal any of your secret weapons that are going to be joining on Sunday? Or are you going to try to surprise everybody?
Secret weapons. Oh, you're talking about personnel.
Yes, sir.
The boys in the band. Yeah.
Yes,
I have been really lucky to been able to put together like an awesome band. Also with George's help. But yeah, man, I can reveal a couple people. The first person that joined into this project beyond George was Ian Kenselar. And Ian is a good friend. And I started going over his place a little and sharing the tunes. He was vibing on them. He liked them. So he's been kind enough to join in for this. And he'll be there.
Is he playing upright? Or is he playing electric?
Electric.
Ooh, okay. All right, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, obviously he is, you know, his upright, that's his real, you know, I don't know how to put it, but that's his, like, his, I don't know, his heart, I think, is very much with the upright.
That's the bag right there, for sure.
Yeah, he's such a talented dude, too, like, and the thing with Ian also is, like, he plays so many different genres, like just last weekend, he was like telling me he was going like to some of the bluegrass jams in the city, like at Mona's and Sonny's and stuff. He's like doing bluegrass. He's got his jazz stuff going on. He does like some world music, like some classical world type music. He does the like hip hop R&B thing with Knowledge. Like that's sick. Been lucky enough to see them, and now he's got this. So I mean, he's really like, he's got a finger in everything. It's awesome. And because I don't know, it's just makes him interesting as a musician. And yeah, there are a couple other guys too. We do have a drummer. Ramsey Norman is joining us, who was new to me, but he's been doing really. He's comes from more of a reggae background, but he's he's a rock drummer. He can play. So him and the last person that joined in was Ben Weisiger, who is a trombone player, lives in Brooklyn. He's also a good friend and an amateur chef too. He's got a he's an amateur chef, but he's actually playing like some keyboards with us and trombone, so he's like alternating.
That's dope. That sounds like a great lineup, bro. Really looking forward to it.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, and it's been awesome watching the streams too over the past months. Like it's a great project, and we're definitely psyched to be part of it. So.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we're happy to have you. It's going to be episode number 7 of VTX Live this Sunday, 8 p.m. with Jacob Tremont. Dude, we're just going to crank them through. We're going to take off July 4th, obviously, but, we're booked through the end of June. We got a great lineup. The beginning of June, we'll post the next schedule for the following month. So we're happy to have you close out this May. It was a very, very fun May for us.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough how excited we are to have you guys in. And the production has been coming together, man. Like live streaming is no joke. Like this Instagram is cool. Like you set the phone up and you talk into it. But once you start like, you get a band together and you want to multi-track it and have the good audio and then the different camera angles. And, we still have a lot of learning to do. But hopefully people are enjoying it and they're following us on the journey. So it's only going to get better as we continue to progress.
Yeah. Let me just shout out about the RSVP and stuff. So like obviously the best way to like, there's a couple ways to like just make sure you don't miss it. And I've been trying to put the word out that like you can go to follow VTX. That's probably the best way. But also like if you do RSVP from the link in my bio, my Instagram page, you'll get an email. It's free to RSVP. You just type in your email and you'll get an email that has a reminder, and that like saves the link. So it gets sent to you. You can put it on your calendar. On top of that, for everybody who's RSVPing, for the first 20, I said, and I'm up to like 15 now. So there's only like 5 left. But for the first 20, I'm gonna do like kind of a lottery type thing to win some of the stuff I've made. So like I made some stuff to promote this show, and one of the things was this this collage that I put on my Instagram. Yeah. You can check it out. It's got VTX over here on the side, right on the snowy owl.
Hell yeah, bro!
Date and time. A lot of bugs and insects as part of the one of the motifs of the album. And
I'm about to RSVP, bro.
Yes.
I'm just playing. If anybody's in here, definitely RSVP. That's a dope piece of art, bro. I like that collage.
Yes, and I haven't announced it yet because I'm still working on it, but I'll probably do the last thing for this either late tonight or tomorrow. But I'm making these little like lyrics envelopes, so they're like letters. It's kind of hard to see, but they're envelopes, and on the back side of the envelope, what I did is I wrote lyrics handwritten for each of the 6 songs that we're going to play, and I did color with pastels. And so with these, it's a piece of art, but I can just put a stamp on the front So if you RSVP, you could win one of these too. And I mean, they're pretty cool. But we also have like actual merch coming. I just commissioned a good friend of mine. She's doing like some woodcut prints that are going to be part, going forward of like different bugs and stuff. So keep an eye for that too.
You said a woodcut print?
Yeah, like she carves into wood like in reverse, and then puts ink on it, and she's making prints. And we'll
Oh,
probably
wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the next thing. You'll see that like in conjunction with the single. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just hyping stuff, but
that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I like that. I like the personalized touch on the merch giveaway. That's always cool. You know what I mean? Those are going to be one of a kind things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost like I don't want to give them away, I like them so much. I'm like, these are so cool. Yeah, I mean, it is a cool thing, and I don't know. I guess some people like that personal art type stuff. I'm not much of an artist, but I know just a few little tricks and things with pastels, and I don't know. So.
Yeah, me neither, bro. I'd stick figures. That's where I draw the line. Well, I'm pretty dope with some bubble letters. Like we used to be into the bubble letters back in the day when I was in middle school or whatever.
Can you make the S? Do you know how to make the S?
Oh, dude, I'll make that right now for you. Let's see. Here's my notes. Let's see if you can see this. Hit them with a little top, little button.
Yeah.
Remember the 3 and 3?
Yeah.
Boom, bang.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a classic. That was a classic.
That's like all your school notebooks in high school, just like filled up with those, right?
All over the place, bro. All right, man. Well, this is really cool. So, I really appreciate you coming on and talking a little bit about your music, giving us some insights, what to expect on Sunday. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow Jacob Tremont and follow VTX Studios. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it's really a big help, helping us expand the platform and get more artists on. So that's youtube.com/VTX Studios. Sunday at 8, every Sunday at 8, except for 4th of July. But every Sunday at 8, different artists from we're starting with the Central Jersey area or the Jersey area, tri-state area. But, once we represent all the homies, then we'll start expanding a little bit. So also reach out to us if you want to be on the live too, because, we're looking for artists and it's a great time. So.
Yes. Thanks for having me, Vinny. Looking forward to it. I'll see you on Sunday.
I'll see you on Sunday, bro. Peace.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.